All right. Well, hi everyone. So we're starting a few minutes early because, hey, we're ready and the banners are live. But tonight we're going to be rolling for Wriothesley. I have about 80 pulls, and this is, I do plan on getting him today, but this is do I have to dip into my Pantalone funds? Because I have 180 Pantalone funds saved over in Star Glitter, and chances are he's not going to, Pantalone isn't going to be playable like right now, so I can technically use some of them, but it's going to be kind of okay, am I going to win the 50-50? Is Wriothesley going to come home? So that's kind of the whole big thing. I do plan on getting him, but hopefully he'll be nice to me, since Mizuki was like not nice to me at all. she she threw a Tignari at me when she showed up. But let's hop over to the game. Okay, so here is my pulling plan. Okay, so I like pulling in places where the characters are, not that it really affects anything, I don't think, but it's kind of a like, how to put it? It is a, it's kind of helping with good luck type of idea. So we are here in Wriothesley's office by his chair, and in the party we have Nicolette, who of course is like kind of boyfriend-ish. We got Sijuin, who is of course, you know, nurse and sort of helper, daughter, etc. We have the Traveler, because of course, you know, Traveler, she gets along with everybody, pretty much. And then of course we have Farina, the Archon, to give us some Archon blessing for luck. So back to that. Oh, okay. And let's see. I think, let me check my, I think I do have some pity. Don't know how high it is though, so let's just check that out. Okay, yeah, so I have 3 pity. Right, I have 3 pity because once Mizuki showed up, I stopped. But yeah, you could see here, I go back a bit. My 50-50 got destroyed. Yeah, I think it's like, not only did, here's Tignari. Not only did my 50-50 get kind of destroyed by Tignari, but it took that be like 80 polls for Mizuki to show up, so like she didn't even come home early to that. Hi Nope. And we're pulling for Wriothesley tonight, so hopefully the gacha luck will be a little bit better for me tonight, but let's see if Mr. Wriothesley's gonna make me dip into my Pantalone funds. I think before I do that, let me check those characters. I think they might all be C6. So we have Chungyun. Right, so Chungyun is C6. And then we have, okay, Mika is not C6, so if we get any constellations for him, that'll help. Or that'll be that part. And then the other one was, oh shoot. Who was the last? Okay, Charlotte. I was gonna say, who was the last one? I remember pink hair. Right, it was Charlotte. So weird. I love this new piece. It makes it so much easier, especially since I have so many characters. Yeah, okay, and so if we get any Charlottes, then she'll be filling out some of her constellation. But if we get any Chungyuns, he'll just kind of turn into Star Glitter copies. So, but all right. So here we go. Please come home, Wriothesley. Please come home. That's a pink. Skip that. Okay, so we got a weapon there. Okay. pink. Oh, there's a Mika. So we're putting it at 23 pity. So 33 pity. 33 pity. There's a Charlotte. 43 pity. $53 pity. Yeah, I'm pulling on his banner now because I didn't pull on his banner before because he got sandwiched between Nivulette and Farina, and I wanted both Nivulette and Farina. I wanted him too, but I'm like, I can't be pulling for everybody. I don't have enough savings. So, but I just promised, I was like, when he gets his rerun, I'll pull on him, expecting him to get his rerun like before Fontaine ended. And it took like, geesh, I don't know, a year for him to show up. So 60. So I promised, I was like, no, I'm gonna pull his banner. I'm gonna get him today. Because who knows when he'll rerun again. Okay, so this is last 10 pull before I have to dip into the savings. Here we go. I think this is like 80. Okay, here comes something. Please be Wriothesley, please be Wriothesley. Oh gosh, Amika scares me to death. I wish when they did the 5-star thing, the 5-star was just the first one to show up, because whenever it's whenever it's a 4-star character, I'm like, it scares me out of my wits. Oh, okay. This ends up being the hardest part, to be honest. This whole like, okay, it's a 5-star, now who is it? Layla. Hi, Layla. 2 cryos, so maybe that's a good sign. Oh gosh, come on. It's Singari again. Pain in the tuchus. I mean, at least it's not Mona, but holy cow! Singari wants my attention. This is the second time. Alright. Well, guess we're gonna have to use up some of my savings. I guess to make it easy, we probably should just do like just get 90. Then even if I don't have to use all of it, it's not like we have to keep coming back and being like, oh, 10, 10, 10. So this is why you always want to save up 180, because of stuff like this. Alright, so now we have a guaranteed Wriothesley. Oh, you just pulled for Farina. Did you get her? Hopefully you didn't get jump scared by Tignari. I was hoping, but like I said, this is why you save up 180 for characters you really want. Because if you don't, and like if I hadn't saved up at anything, then I would be like, okay, nope, got it, Tignari, have to skip. Got her but lost the 50-50 to Kaching. Yeah, that happens. At least she got her first before losing the 50-50 to Kaching. Alright, let's go. Yeah, I actually haven't seen that whole, oh, you were gonna lose the 50-50, but here you go, you won. I haven't seen that yet. They're both giving me such a hard time. 30. 40. He's got it coming in this, though. At least I get a lot of weapon fodder. I think I pulled the 90 because he's not coming. I ever at C5 now. One left. Is that even a thing? I heard about it. It does happen. It is a thing. But I think it's like, ooh, they change it to like 55% chance of getting the 5-star and like 45 chance of losing it or something. So it shows up kind of rarely. There he is.
Hello, please try to quickly summarize your intents and goals for this meeting. Oh, you're not here for business? Well, that just makes me even more nervous. All right, then perhaps we should sit down and discuss things in a little more detail. Oh, and you can call me Your Grace. That's what they all call me down in the fortress, and, well, I kind of got used to it.
All right, well, there he is. Both him and Mizuki gave me a hard time. Well, at least he's here. All my good luck planning didn't work out.
You got a side job for me? Sure thing.
There he is. Mr. Your Grace, head of the Fortress of Meripede. Well, I finally have him, so that's good. Oh, usually he'd be happy. No, they start talking when you get them for the first time now. They didn't used to, but they put it in.
A moment, please.
Yeah, I wanted him because I wanted a cryo DPS that kind of just gets up there and does cryo. Because like I have Ganyu and things, but Ganyu, what you call it? Ganyu takes time to like warm up through her charge shots and stuff. I had Lisa hold on to his weapons for me. They're not fully leveled yet, but I was busy trying to raise up everybody else. Not too bad. Oh, that. And let's just oh. Thing. It
is my honor to win your trust.
So, he did, I did pre-farm for him. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough Mora for it, because I've been low on Mora lately, but...
Uh-oh. Looks like I'll owe you a favor now.
Not to mention, like I said, I promised... He was, like, the only tall male character I was missing, so I'm kind of like, okay, yeah. I want to make sure I get him.
Why do you look even more pleased about this than me?
That's because you're going to be really helpful. Yeah. But honestly, with the way I roll now for characters and stuff, I really only get, like, since I'm so planned for it, I only get really excited when it's like, oh, I won the 50-50,
I
or
once
they...
considered keeping some pets in my office, but soon gave up on the idea. It's just not right to keep small animals where they won't be able to see the sun.
What was I saying? Yeah, so I have my poll plan so worked out that it's not really a question of if I'm going to get them, it's when they're going to show up. Which, like I said, both... Honestly, if I could go back, I would have been like, okay, once I lost that 50-50 on Tignari on Mizuki's banner, I would have just stopped, because Mizuki's already going to become... He's going to go on the standard, and for the anniversary in September, they've started going and giving people a standard 5-star coupon. They started giving them that coupon, so I would have ended up getting her in like September-ish. Yeah, Mizuki's the Animo one, yeah. But I was sort of like, oh, you know, I really want her, and so on, and I want her now, and so I just kind of continued, and like I said, maybe not was the best idea, but hey. It happened, no point in regretting it now. And of course I run out of more.
A word of advice, don't break the law. Is there anything else? Yeah, seriously, don't break the law.
Excuse me. Seriously, don't break the law.
This realm is true.
Oh, if that's good.
If you ever have it.
But... oh. Not quite. We'll have to go do some more farming today. But almost there. Nari is now C4. Charlotte will be perfect. Well, I had 80 to Primo saved, but then I had to dip into my Pantalone funds, so now it's kind of like 10. Oh. So, but I wasn't planning on rolling for that Natlin character coming, Barca? I think Mika C6'd himself though. I didn't planning on rolling for her, and I'm pretty sure the two other characters I want, which are...
Have you ever seen any stickers on my back? Do me a favor and take them off. Malazines like to play pranks sometimes.
Aoife and Dahlia are going to be 4 stars, I'm pretty sure, so they're going to be kind of like, you know, you drop 30 pulls on the banner and hope they come home. Oh, and if they don't, you just give up, because... oh wait, what's that? I want to put Wriothesley in his office, in my teapot, then let him run around and pick up the Primo gems, because I gotta start from ground zero again. One of the funny things about the way I set up this whole thing was you walk in and there's the theater, and if you look up, there's Nivulette presiding over the theater, okay? And then you walk over this way, and Arlecchino is hiding behind the bookshelf. So it's sort of like kind of to spook you a little. There is the office we'll put in. Friendship points. Let's see. Turn out. Oh, he's actually sticking around. Double Wriothesley. Alright.
If I didn't know better, I'd think you were trying to coax me into working from your place, so you can pry into the fortress of Meripede's most closely guarded secrets.
Oh. Hi, Anna Acheron. Thank you so much for the raid. Hi, everyone. We're just pulling for Wriothesley. Oh. No new mission for him. I don't know. I don't know if there's a new mission for Wriothesley, but got him for the first time. So woo! I lost to Tignari, which is really ironic because I rolled on Mizuki's banner and also lost to Tignari. But I want to check something after I talk to Wriothesley real quick. It's kind of funny.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but the majority of my day-to-day work is mundane accounting.
Aw.
So, I could consider working here, but only if... Well, let's put it this way. How good's your math?
Uh-oh. Gonna rope us in helping him. And I know he's gonna jump. But, yeah, the, standard characters. Yeah, okay, so Mona is a C4. And King's a C1, because I just kind of got her. Then we have Tignari, who's a C4. Chi-Chi's C4. King's a C1. Tsuki, of course, is a C4, because I got her. D-Luke's a C4. That's it. Yeah, I think that's it for standard.
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate.
Yeah, Dea's a C1.
Mondstadt's
So
water is crisp
I think
and
Tignari
pure,
was like, I want
while
to
water
join
from
the
Liyue
ranks of
has an
D-Luke
enduring
and
aftertaste.
Mona and
In
Chi-Chi. I want to be
Inazuma, the water
C4 too.
possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor.
We're gonna walk away.
This realm is truly beginning to thrive.
Is Nivulette also coming? Like on a banner? I don't know.
If you ever have...
Area. Yeah, I always find this so weird where they place the characters when they come to check out these sets. Because you'd think that he'd be, like, Wriothesley would be standing, like, right here or over there. No, he's over here by this tree. Like, how are you even looking at it from here? You're not even, he's not even technically looking at it. He's looking over there.
Not bad. It really looks the part. Anyone who gets to compete in a tournament here must be the cream of the crop, since you're the one sending out the invitations. So, I'll pass. Save myself the embarrassment. Besides, I make a good spectator.
Here we go. Hello, everyone who came in. We just finished pulling for Wriothesley. I did unfortunately have to reach into my Pantalone funds, but he did come home, so got our cryo boxer, Wolfman, and I've given him a 5-star weapon as well as some decent artifacts. So hopefully he'll be pretty strong. However, we did kind of hit a snag on leveling him up because I ran out of Mora, so I'm gonna have to go fix that. Let's see. I got C4 for Rena today in just 25 pulls. Wow. At C2 at the beginning, I was hoping to lose by 50-50, but Oyo says not no to me getting the chance to have a confirmed rating. It's, yeah, that's one of those suffering from success moments, you know? Where you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm expecting to do this. And then you pull, and it's like, no, we're actually giving you what you don't want. And yet it's what everybody else does. So, yeah, I had that the other time. I was rolling for Baizu's weapon, and I pulled, and it came home twice in the same 10 pull. So I was like, oh my gosh. Let's go get a little bit more Mora so we finish up leveling Sivulette. His talents are all level 1, so don't be surprised if he doesn't do that much damage.
Floaty booty!
Bow your head.
The one problem is when you get up to higher levels in the world, you really can't go and use the characters you just got, because if they're not fully leveled and all that type of stuff, you'll run into issues where they seem so much weaker. Whoop. Than they really are, and then you'll feel bad about it. At least I would. That's the one problem with Farina's helpers. They just randomly attack things.
Shower me with praise! Let my name echo in song! Wibbly wobbly! He might feel a little prick!
We've only just
Time for a painkiller!
Settle down.
Please hold I have ignorant
Have a safe trip. Let the might be humble.
savor the show in peace. I swear it's for medical research!
I've warned you.
Strike a pose! Time to shine!
Did I scare you?
Let's begin.
Hi, Blaze. Thanks for coming. I lost the 50-50. Excuse me. And I had to use up some of my Pantalone funds. I did get him though, so at least that was good. Ironically, I lost the 50-50 to Tignari again. I lost it to him on Mizuki's banner too. He just really wanted to show up. Ironically, he actually ends up C4ing himself, which is the same level as my Diluc, Mona, and Chi-Chi. Not Dea, Kaching, Mizuki, or G. I just kind of got them more recently.
Floaty booty!
But I thought it's kind of ironic. Like, they all want to C4 themselves before anybody else shows up.
He might feel a little prick!
A moment, please.
I was telling my chat though the other day or before, he was the only tall male character I didn't have, so I really did kind of want to make sure I got him, especially since we don't know when his rerun's gonna come back. That's another problem. But do you have enough Mora yet? That.
I like signs of strength and hope. They give me reassurance that tomorrow will be better than today. This isn't to be pessimistic, but it's impossible for the present to be without its doubts and troubles. That's just the truth. But come hell or high water, if nothing else, then at least we'll be able to figure it out together, right?
Yeah, that's a good. Right. And of course we need. That's the thing. Everything's getting more expensive.
Stay cool and face your guilt. Silence. Flash frost. Cooked food. Disgusting.
Let's blow bubbles!
There you are, eavesdropper.
Yoo-hoo!
But mine ain't echo in song!
Let's begin.
Bow your head.
How can you say that?
Oops.
The tides beckon.
Pardon me.
I can still try.
I remember back in the early days, there would be content creators who'd be like, oh yeah, don't use your resin on these things. Don't use your resin on these things. And it's like, well, I mean, sort of, but when you get up to higher levels, you need these things. You need Mora. You need talent books. You can't just rely on what you got from events anymore. Thank you guys all for coming in. Or
May I present?
normally I have Zhongli and Baizu in the party, but I decided, hey, let's have a whole Fontaine family team.
Shower me with praise! Time to shine! I swear, it's for medical research!
In the corner there.
Silence! Have a safe trip. Be sanctified. An oversight on my part.
Alrighty. That. People who don't understand that there is such a thing as too much crit damage, but that's also a thing in Hoyo, yeah. Well, the thing is too is like with the crit damage, it's like crit damage is fine, but if you don't have enough crit rate to go with it, it doesn't do squat. All right. Gotta work on his a little bit first. That should be a little bit lower pricing. Also, it feels weird having him at level 1 talents. Yeah, I don't know if I'll crown him. I might. Because the crowns don't come that often. I want to make sure I save them for, like, Archon. Stuff like that, but... And we ran out of more. Agreed, or at least that making glass cannons doesn't really work when everyone is the same. Yeah. That's true. Alrighty.
How brilliant!
Yeah. The only problem with Farina's healing bits is that it only heals the active character, while her helpers drain all the characters. But she is a really good sub DPS. All right. That's it. Definitely hit the full 50 for this patch. That was good.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
You building up on the things again. Like I said, I mean, apparently Aoife and Dahlia are gonna be 4 stars, so it's gonna be a you do 30 pulls, and if they show up, they show up, and if they don't, they don't. You're just kind of be like, okay, I'll have to get them later. Because chasing the 4 stars can be not a good idea. Oh, I just realized that Wriothesley probably can do the dolphin jump. Hi, Welshram boy. Hi. Thanks for coming in and chatting with me. Yeah, if I get a couple people chatting at the same time, I'll get to be Twitch partner or Twitch affiliate or whatever they call it, and then I can actually start doing cool stuff. Yep. He's a Fontaine character. He can do the dolphin jump. He is definitely burning, isn't he? Dive, yeah. Honestly, 4-star characters are not worth pulling. You'll eventually get them from just any people. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'll put it this way. okay, as evidence of what not to do. Back in the day, Toma, okay, was coming out. And I really, really wanted Toma. Oh, thank you. I really wanted Toma. And Toma was on Hutao's banner. I didn't have Hutao, but I wasn't like really going for her because, you know, I'm a Baizu main and stuff like that. But I was kind of like, okay, if she shows up, she shows up. It's no big deal, right? Well, she shows up twice before I got a single Toma. Like, that was intense. The same thing happens with Candace. Right, with Candace, who I now have at C6. But, like, I wanted one Candace. One, okay? It was on Sino's banner. Rolled it. Got 2 Sino before 1 Candace. It was just like, how in the world am I getting 2 limited 5-stars before 1 4-star? So that's an example of what not to do, especially if you really don't want the character. I'm okay with having a Sino and a Hutao. I wouldn't have rolled on the banner if I was like super against having the characters. But a word of the wise, excuse me, don't pull until you really want the character. See, I don't understand why people complain when a character is a 4-star when they expect the character to be 5-star. Yeah, I think it has to do with people's perceptions about the characters and the star ranking. Like, for example, that off. Actually, let me go into the character arc. Because I know, like, when the game first came out, right, people saw Amber, Kaya, and Lisa as 4-stars and basically wrote them off. They immediately were like, oh, they're 4-stars, they're free, they're not any good. And, like, so many people were hating on them, which was really sad because they're, you know, decent units. I mean, yeah, Amber is not exactly a super close DPS, but I mean, she's an archer. Her job is to kind of, you know, be archery and stuff, right? But like Kaya and Lisa, you know, they can be good units, but people were just so quick to write them off. And the thing is, too, you find out it's like, oh well, Zhongling, Dingshu, Bennett, Fischl, they're all 4-stars. And yet people use them in their team comps all the time. Niguang has been called a hidden 5-star because of the fact that she is so stinking powerful, especially at C6. However, like I said, it's a perception that, ooh, 4-stars aren't as good as 5-stars, which is not true, especially if you have your 4-star C6. Now, there are some of them that are harder to play with than others. Candace has a very special play style. Like, you can't just use her and hit E and use her ult and expect to have big damage. You can get that damage, but she has a very unique way of playing, and if you don't play her enough, you kind of lose it and then have to relearn it. So, that's like another example, but yeah, I mean, I don't really rate characters of, ooh, how powerful they are or how weak they are depending on their star level. The star level is more of like, how quote unquote easy can they show up? Because I'm pretty sure I heard that like Niguang was supposed to be a 5-star or something, but Bahoyo decided at the last minute to make her a 4-star so that people could actually get her, since she's the leader of Liwei under Zhongli and so on. I don't know how true that is. Stretching. I don't know exactly how true that is, but I mean it's understandable. This is why the whole thing where people are screaming about how, oh, Vararsur's the 5-star and it should have gone to Isan or his name, the new little electro character. Like, oh, she should have been the 5-star. Vararsu stole the 5-star. Like no, guys, chill out. It's I wrote a post about it too. I think I said something like, star level does not equal lack of respect. So I see. So that's just my kind of input on it. Go spin around. The perfect example of characters that are 4 stars being viable are the Power 5. They are still one of the best 4 stars that exist. Wish they would be power correct by now, though. Yeah. Well, I know when Eureka was coming out, people were like, "Oh, she's the new Bennett," and like now it's like, nah. Technically, Bennett's still decent, and it's like, okay, how in the world did an Archon not outstrip Bennett? But no shit against Bennett. I mean, don't. Yeah, you can kind of see into the fortress through here. I believe you can see. I've seen people co-op with this, and one person's inside and the other person's outside, and it's easier to see out than it is to see in. But it's kind of funny. And he is the only 6-star. Yeah. Sucrose is still best 4-star. Yeah. Sucrose is so cute. Love her little face. But yeah. Now that I got Wriothesley, put him in my teapot and used up my resin, I don't know what to do. Ooh, maybe we do this. As a, I just did. Of course it starts to rain. Like, Nivulette, don't cry!
Ah, it's raining? That's all right. A real problem would be if we could feel water dripping on our heads in the fortress of Meripede.
That's true.
They say there's nothing new under the sun, but somehow a picnic in the warm sunshine never gets old.
Hey, he's cool. Okay, let's see. Let's do this as a... Oh, okay, hang on, wait a second. This is not the right one, is it? That's a fan-made one. I don't want to be pushed that hard today. Let's just go do... This is a celebration for getting him since his song. Perhaps my fingers get mixed up. This stuff is so powerful. There you go. Not too bad. It's a mini game. Yeah, it's one of those things that you kind of have to get used to. I'm glad that they made it permanent though, because I do enjoy it. But there we go. That's the celebrate the celebratory song. Honestly, I feel like a character that should get dethroned by now is Young. Like, we need another off-field pyro DPS that's not another 4-star. Yeah, I mean, I like Xiangling, but it is kind of weird when it's like you have a character that's from 1.0 and they still are the best at what they do. But I guess that's kind of what they try to do with all the Genshin stuff. You know, they don't want to really make too many characters that are, ooh, kicking the other one off the throne, because the idea is that every single character is useful to some degree, I guess. Yeah, I guess also too, yeah, there's still some character, like, type compositions that we still don't have. Like, we still don't have Hydro, Claymore. Yep, everyone has their own niche. Yep, the niche.
A word of advice, don't break the law. Is there anything else? Yeah, seriously, don't break the law.
Why does he keep burning? Does that have to do with him, or is that... See. He just keeps being red. Oh well, it makes
I once considered keeping some pets in my office, but soon gave up on the idea. It's just not right to keep small animals where they won't be able to see the sun.
It makes him look cool, but I'm kind of curious why it's happening. You know, sometimes I feel bad for these guys. Like, they're trying to set up shop in places that have, like, barely any cover. Like, I'm still surprised that the new Fortress of Maripede Oh, not no, sorry. The new Fontaine Research Institute looks the way it does. I'm like, you guys have like broken walls. Like, I mean, I understand it's because of the explosion that happened over there. But I'm also like, don't you guys think you should maybe shore up the walls and get yourself a ceiling before you continue with your research?
Everything here is in order.
No. Anyway. Like, what was it? Like 10 days from now, we're gonna have the Genshin live stream, and I'm hoping that in this next coming up patch, they're finally gonna release the Natlin sets for the furniture, because they gave us the Natlin teapot realm, but then didn't give us the furniture sets. And every patch that passes by, I'm like, where's the furniture sets? I kind of need those things. Because I like it. I like decorating with them, because then it's like, oh, the characters just get to run around and look at the sets and give me primo gems and so on. That reminds me, I should change that too. Okay, which wind glider would be put on here? Well, that doesn't look bad. Not the cryo one. Other than his vision, though, he doesn't really have much cryo coloring to him. Doesn't look bad, though. I think that one kind of clashes. I want a character that focuses on buffing the shatter reaction. It's not that hard of a reaction to try to really pull off the amount of off-field hydro DPS, so they just need cryo DPS can do it, or an off-field cryo DPS that has application. That's true. That would be cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? Got this one. Match with his kind of red-black. Or this one. Which also kind of matches with it, although the red is a little bit more orangey. Places. This one might be a little too golden yellow. Or we could just stay with this. This one's okay. It's just, it's a, because it's the starter one, it's a little muted? Yes. I guess let's just for a little bit. You like the red one? Which one? This one or the Wings of Delicacies? Currently, Melt and Vaporize are having the spotlight. Maybe get more spotlight if we go by. That's true. I mean, I guess in a way, Melt and Vaporize are... It's good that they're getting the spotlight, considering we're in Natland. First one? This one? Or this one? Basically, the Natland one or the Kentucky Fried Chicken one. I think this is the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Try the purple one. That's definitely different. We got like, I think I want to kind of bring out the reds. also have the cryo one. This one's kind of, the cryo is sort of the opposite of what his design looks like. I guess I'll just go with that one. Considering he's has that red aura. But the KFC one. Ironically, I am surprised with Natland how we have not gotten any pyro characters other than Muika. Anything, I also feel like at this point the Traveler should try being a support over a DPS. It seems like whenever they are built towards the DPS, they get easily power crept. Yeah, that's true. Honestly, the Traveler's kits can be kind of weird. I mean, I think the ones that work well on her or on the Traveler is Animo. I've used a bit for the swirl. Electro is okay. Dendro's okay if you kind of have them as a support and then let like Alhytham and some others do damage. Geo is kind of weird because Geo, I think with Geo it's more of a, okay, the Traveler puts out their ultimate, creates a fence, puts down one of their Geo constructs, and then they let like a catalyst or a bow user hop up on there and do damage. Because since they're a melee character, when they use that ultimate and push out that fence, okay, you're pushing the enemies away, but now you gotta go chase after them. So that's also in my opinion, and I'm sorry if you like Hydro Traveler, but I don't think the kit's good at all. I was just like, when it came out, I was like excited for it because I'm like, oh yay, I can use the Traveler with Baizu and and other things. It's just not that good for me. I still don't understand why they get a water bubble that just pieces out and floats away. I was like, what is this? So. I think I'm better off just not trying. The only one I could actually hit those rocks in my team right now is Farina. I can just imagine her with her sword going in and like trying to hack at the rocks, meanwhile watched by Niviolette, Wriothesley, and Sigewinne. And Sigewinne's just going, "You go, Farina, you can do it!" And she's like, "Ha! Ha! Ha!" And meanwhile Niviolette is like, he so wants to help her, but he's a catalyst user, so he can't do a squat to the rocks. And meanwhile, Wriothesley is just patting him on the back, like, there. Sometimes we gotta let them do it themselves. Hydro Traveler is a joke, yeah. It would be cool if the Hydro Traveler trap mods in bubbles, yeah. If you basically did what Sigewinne does, that's weird. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. Then at least it would be kind of, interesting, but I think I switched the Traveler over to Hydro Traveler for a little tiny bit and just was like, what is this? I still don't understand how they did what they did. And now we have Pyro Traveler. And Pyro Traveler, I guess, isn't bad per se, but it's definitely, I don't think, as strong as to warrant the wait we had to do for it. I mean, we can't have it fully, like, constellationed up yet because of the fact that in order to get those constellations, or is it constellations? Well, it's not constellations, but it's like an extra boost. In order to get the, it's like a final extra boost or whatever. But in order to get those, you have to go and do the reputation quest for the tribes in that land, and then give what they give you to Capitano, and so on. Is over here. Spoilers, by the way. You haven't done the Natlan story quest. Maybe look away for a moment. But you kind of probably heard of this anyway. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was bummed. They're like, how could you do that to Capitano? We wanted him to be playable. But unfortunately with Capitano, it was... When he first showed up, he looked like he was going to be playable. But then when he became, like, you could stand next to him in the game, I realized just how big his model was and went, oh no. He's not going to be playable. He's too big to be a playable model. And then of course he started talking about how, oh, he's falling apart and he hasn't been able to sleep for the last 500 years and he just wants rest, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. At least we get to still come and see him. Also, his sacrifice does end up saving Moika from death, so he did kind of become her knight in shining armor. Dude. Oh, it must be the action guarantee, the traveler. Anyway. But you get these, I've given all of mine to him right now, but you get things from for reputation quests and from Natlan, but we can't do the final reputation quests because we don't have the Collective of Plenty available yet. So, actually, give me 1 second. I gotta adjust. I'm getting kind of stiff.
Boring. Isn't there anything else more interesting to do?
Calibrate. I'm not, like, leaning too far forward. But yeah, but that should be coming in the next patch as well. They should have just kept the console as an always unlocked thing. Probably make Pyro Traveler playable, yeah. That too. Like I said, at least it's nice that we can come see him. You know, and he's not like Signora, who's like pile of ash. Although I would not be surprised if when we get to Chesnaya, we'll actually be able to go into that place in the go into that place again. I just want my potato. We'll be able to go into whatever building they were in the animation, hopefully, and be like, oh, here rests Signora. plain Resurrector, but I know the Signora mains were really holding out hope for Natlin being able to, you know, resurrect her. And then, of course, we find out, or we show up here, and it's like, oh no, there's just a whole bunch of caveats of, you know, oh, it's only for Natlin people, and it's only for, you know, this part, and yada yada. And so it's kind of like, okay. Honestly, Natlin, the story felt kind of weird to me. Because every time you turned around, it was like, oh yeah, Traveler, you can't help with this. No, you can't help with that. No, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then at the end, it's like, oh, well, Traveler, we need you to do these things. And it's like, but you just told me I couldn't do any of that. It felt very weird because it was like they kind of like were pushing the Traveler out and giving you the idea of like, oh, well, you know, you don't even need to be here because you can't do anything to help. And then suddenly they turn around and being like, well, wait a minute, where are you going? I was like,
Let's get to work.
I knew you'd miss me.
Remember,
I have a feeling it's going to be an enemy.
Yeah.
Strike a pop!
Away now.
You know, when I first heard that Rising was a catalyst, I was like,
Stay cool. Face your guilt.
this guy's a catalyst? However, he's a catalyst
All
in the
unclaimed
same...
articles should be turned in. So, neither of us saw anything here, right?
Neither of us saw anything. Yeah, we're good. That he basically follows in the same path as like Heizo and I guess kind of Scaramouche. Oh, honestly, Natalie currently has so many things wrong with it. Like the characters don't really seem from the same region like the other. Yeah, I think that what happened with Natland was it feels very much like Genshin refreshed. Like, I don't know if you guys are into Pokemon, but apparently with Pokemon, what happened was that they did the first 4 regions, okay, for Pokemon. So Generation 1, 2, 3, 4, and they were all taking place in Japan. Then they got to the 5th, and they start off with the Unova, and I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, that was kind of like a refresh of the series, and they were refreshing it and putting in new things and so on and so forth, right? Well, for Genshin, Natlan kind of seems like that too, because like Natlan is like, with the different tribes and stuff, it's a mini, what do they call it? A mini cosmos or a mini world within the world of Teyvat. So like, for example, if we out a bit, right? So we start off like, okay, it's like, okay, Mondstadt's Anemo, Liyue is Geo, Inazuma's Electro, Sumeru is Dendro, Fontaine is Hydro, yada yada. And then we get to Natlet. And while this doesn't match with every single character for every single tribe, it is kind of happening enough that you're like, huh. Like, for example, right? We go with the Children of the Echoes. The 2 characters we have playable for them are both Geo. So, Geo tribe. We go to Icons of the Canopy. Only playable character is Dendro. Okay, Dendro tribe. People of the Springs. Hydro. The only one we have is Mualani right now. So Hydro. Go over to Master of the Night Wind. We have Auroran, who is Electro, but Citlali, who is a better representative, since Auroran is kind of an outsider in his lore, she's Cryo. So it's like, okay, Cryo character. Flower Feather Clan, I think it's supposed to be like Animo Pyro, to be honest, because Chaska is Animo and the whole thing is flying, but their Saurian companions are fire-based, right? Like they have fire. So I think this is supposed to be Animo and fire, since Pyro doesn't have a tribe. And then we have the Collective of Plenty, which is out somewhere. I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but it's going to be out in this area somewhere. And both of those characters are Electro. So we got Electro tribe. So while it's not exactly, in stone, it's kind of formed enough that you're like, okay, yeah, Natlan seems to be a little Teyvat world inside of the main Teyvat world. The only problem with that, of course, is that it makes Natlan lose its identity as a land of Pyro, because the only Pyro character we've got is Moika. Which, I mean, we have quite a few Pyro characters, but I was counting it the other day, and I found this kind of funny. Let's see, if you look at Pyro characters, and you count and you kind of count up of, who's from what region, Leeway has more Pyro characters than any other region. Especially Natlan. This is the only one we have is Moika. I mean, because I'm not going to count the Pyro Traveler, because some people were like, oh, who's Moika's second in command type of idea, because usually you end up having the Archon, and then their second in command is their same element. And some people were like, oh, it's the Traveler. It's like, no, the Traveler switches around elements. The Traveler can't be the second in command, especially since they're not going to stay there. Honestly, the tribe thing is a cool thing, but I think they went too far into trying to make fun with their own identity. Yeah. They do definitely not seem very connected, like you said. I mean, they have this string between them of, we're trying to protect our homeland because whoopsie daisy, we can't leave, so if our land gets taken over, we're all just gonna die. Because if we try to leave, we're all gonna go crazy. That's the one funny thing somebody mentioned about with Bennett. They said, is Bennett's bad luck connected to the fact that he is actually supposed to be from Natland, but since he's been out of Natland, he's been away from the Wives' protection, and that's why he has such bad luck? That was a theory I heard, which, considering the Mar Javari is supposed to be in this area somewhere, which it was kind of weird, because it was like, they said it was there, and then it disappeared, according to Citlali. So I'm like, what do you mean it disappeared? You can do that? I thought it was a desert. A windless desert. So I guess someplace really creepy, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. Like, I don't think Natlan is bad at all. It's just really not what I was expecting, to be honest. Because, like, when we heard about it being the land of the dragons, and then we get Nivulet as the sovereign dragon, I was like, oh my gosh, are we going to get more of that? Are we going to get more sovereign dragons? Are we going to get more, like, dragon people? Because, like, we got foxes, and cats, and dogs, and, etc. Like, are we going to get some, dragon people hybrid type of individuals? And then we get to Natlan, and it's like, oh, okay, they're basically all dinosaurs. And honestly, the only quote sort of playable one we have is a How. I don't even want to know if you want to say he counts, because he's a tiny pixel guy with a bad mouth. So I think it's like it was just kind of the whole point that Fontaine had so many cool, high-ranking characters, and then we get to Natland, and they're all so like grounded, and and so on. That, I mean, even Moeka is like, she's a human. She's a cool human, and she's been around for like 500 years, but she is still a human. So I guess what I'm kind of well, let's see. Natland's other problems is definitely was after Fontaine. Yeah, Fontaine was good. Fontaine was really good. In my opinion. Like I said, I don't think Natland was bad. I think it has the same problem as it does with that Subaru had. They're trying to cover so many different regions and so many different things in one area. They definitely, MiHoYo, I think, excels in when they have it like, oh, okay, Mondstadt. Okay, Mondstadt is based on like Germany, the areas around that, maybe a little bit of France, right? Because they talk about this cathedral being very France-like, and the idea of like, oh, the wine, in the winery, of like, okay, French wine, champagne, that type of stuff, right? And then like you get to Liyue, and like Liyue is definitely China, right? It is definitely China. Inazuma is definitely Japan. Fontaine is definitely France and English, because Wriothesley is basically English with him with his tea drinking and all that stuff. So definitely those two. And then you get Sumeru, and like Sumeru is trying to do India, Persian, like Iran, Iraq, Egypt. They're trying to like tackle so many places. And the same thing with Natland. Natland is like trying to tackle parts of Africa, South America, regular America, or not regular, what am I talking about? North America, Hawaii, etc., etc. And when they have too many to juggle, that's when things start kind of feeling a little bit disconnected, because you got so many that they're handling, I think. I guess what my annoyance with Natland is a little bit is that, like I said, I was so Fontaine came out and we got all those cool characters, and so I was looking forward to like, ooh, Sovereign Dragon and this and that, and a lot of the characters that I was looking forward to that were guys did not come out. Capitano's not playable. The first Pyro Archon isn't playable, which, I mean, he's dead technically, and then he shows up as a little kid, and I think that's kind of just rubbing salt in our wounds, because then he just vanishes, because of course it's a come back for one day type of thing. So he's gone. The Pyro Dragon, or the Pyro Dragon Sovereign is, but pretty sure we kill him actually, although he's we actually killed quite a few of the dragon beings from the past. I don't remember exactly where they are. I remember doing some of the world quests, and there was like a dragon statue where I think that was the sovereign Pyro Dragon, and his soul had been trapped in the statue, and so he asks us to basically release him. Yeah, I think part of it. He asks us to release him and so we do, and of course he then moves on to the afterlife and stuff. So that's one thing that happens. So no Pyro Sovereign Dragon because he's dead. And then we got this guy over here too, which this guy is he's part of like Oshkanatlan or something. I don't remember exactly, but he's another one of the important dragon characters. Is his body still here? Yeah, there he is. No one can get over there. Did before. What? Why can't I get over there? They did not want me to cross the water. That's what's happening. And like this guy was under a curse. So we basically were mercy kind of killing them. Yeah, Ochka's remains. So he's gone too. And it's very sad because I'm like, holy cow, why are you killing off all the cool guy characters? There's also our Syrian companion, or say, yeah, I don't think they actually finished that story, which feels weird. Yeah, it's not finished yet, with the little dude. Give me a second, I think I can get to him. He hangs out in here. We're not doing storyline stuff. Our little buddy. It's not finished yet because we haven't been able to get to the volcano yet. Because the story goes where he's got that issue and we're going around collecting the favors or whatever. So that we can basically release him from the power so that he doesn't,
Let's begin.
Oh. So that the power doesn't basically kill him. But we haven't been able to get to... There he is. He hangs out here when he's not popping up for world quests. Okay. Yeah, because I think the volcano is out this way? I think. I have to go back outside and look, but like the volcano, so we've pretty much, if we did all the world quests, we've pretty much gotten all the stuff we need, I think. Yeah, these entreaty bits. This one, and might need another one. Remember. But basically we need to take these things to the volcano and that will release our little buddy from the over amount of power that it's going to pull him apart if he gets too old. And but we haven't been able to get there yet because they haven't put it in the game yet. out of the Syrian companion thing been the main Archon quest. Yeah, that was actually interesting to me. Yeah, that's the weird thing about Bahoyo. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just because they're better off at doing more enclosed. But the world quests in Genshin usually end up being pretty decent. Like, I know with Inazuma, for example, right? Like when Inazuma first came out, I mean, its story is kind of a mess. It's not bad in comparison anymore, but like it came out and it was kind of a mess. But like the quest with the whole thing with the Narukami, the big tree and stuff, and the priestess, and going around and cleaning up those areas, that one was really good. You have the whole one with this island, with the whole, you know, getting rid of the barriers so you can get to the center. You have this one with Ruse was really good. I actually really like this island and this island. Not when they were trying to kill us, but when you get to hang out on them. It's very, like, this one has a really pretty back, sky and some really pretty music. And then this one also has some, like, once you solve them and they stop trying to kill you, at least, and then it ends up being pretty good. I like this one too. And kind of Nomio's one was good as well. I wish that they would do something with it again, though, because unfortunately it's one of those situations of once you did the world quest and once they did that one event that they had for it, and then you did any other little quests here, there's like nothing else to do. Unless you want to come back and do some fishing. The Rue one was only annoying because the time gating. Yeah, they did have a whole like, oh, well, you can't come back tomorrow. But on the other hand, it does help prevent you from rushing through it. You get to kind of like absorb it a little bit more versus it just being a rush, and then you kind of forget about it. But yeah, like some of them were really good. Like I said, I don't think Natlin's Archon quest was bad. The only thing I kind of annoyed about is the lack of men. Because like there's a lot of girl characters in Natland. And I think Mawika's writing could have been a little bit better. They tried so hard to make her be the strong leader that never falters, that she kind of feels a little bit Mary Sue-ish. I mentioned this before in one of my posts, and I was thinking that one good way of helping Mawika's character is to have it where you go through the entire thing, you do the whole thing where her life gets saved by Kapata, or, well, actually, I think what could have happened with that whole bit, because that was like the moment that Mawika had kind of like could have been a breaking point, because of the fact of like, she's going to die, and when we try to talk to her about it, her reaction is so like, not flat, but like even, that it's sort of like, do you even realize that you're gonna die? You've like accepted it to the point where you're not even like upset. Like honestly, all they had to do with that one was to tweak it a little tiny bit, like having it something where like, okay, so you got Mawika, and she's trying to be strong, and she's trying to explain to us why, you know, this is how it has to be, and she has to pay for what, you know, what they gained, and she saved Natland, and this is what they need to do to redo the ley lines and stuff, and she's trying to explain this all, and then finally she's just talking maybe faster and faster and faster, and then we say, but what about you, Mawika? And she's like, I don't want to die. We finally fought so hard, I don't want to leave. You know, something like that. You know, just a little tiny bit of feeling there. Like, you don't have to be strong all the time. Farina, for example, ends up getting most of the people's sympathy and got pulled because we realized just how much she'd gone through and how hurt she was and how she just wanted to be free, right? It was that strong. And then maybe just like after that, after the whole thing is over and we're back in the main, at the stadium, and everybody's partying and having a great time, have it where we could just kind of just, sort of walks away from the back of the crowd, and the traveler sees her and decides to follow and finds her like completely out and unconscious in bed, that she's just finally hit her limit and now she can take a good rest and she's just out. Excuse me. And so the traveler and the Paimon kind of talk about it, and Paimon's like, "Oh, is she okay?" And the traveler's like, "Yeah, she's okay. She just has gotten her good rest." And we tuck her in and leave her to sleep because she is utterly exhausted and it's okay now. You know, she needed that, I think, and it needed to be in the game, not in an animation that we basically just passed by, I think. I also wish that they would have the old events still in the game, or at least a way to get the weapons. Yeah. I've been playing since basically launch, and I've managed to get them all, but the amount of people I have heard who want this, they want Festering Desire so badly that they need to have this come back, or at least have it where you could buy it in the shop. No, something like that. Honestly, I feel like Farina did what they tried with the better accidentally. Yeah. Yeah, because that's what was like, because before we found out about Farina's whole thing, it was like she was coming across as kind of annoying. Especially with the whole thing, like, oh, we show up and then she tries to like make a show out of the traveler and like tries to arrest us. And our reaction is to pull our sword. And she's like, "What are you doing? Why aren't you playing along?" And it's like, "Lady, you're trying to arrest us. We didn't even enter the country yet."
Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
No, but then of course we have the whole thing where we find out that, like, oh, she's actually not technically the Archon, and she's been having to fake it this entire time and keep it all together, even though it's really not who she is. And she's been acting as the Archon for so long, she doesn't even remember where she ends and the Archon starts anymore. She was human, and in the end, she becomes human. Because that's the thing, it's after Focalor is gone, Farina loses that 500-year immortality bit, and so she's gonna grow up, or she's gonna continue to grow and age, and then pass away as a human, as the ocean has always wanted to be. So I mean, like I said, I don't dislike Moeka at all, but we cannot go any higher. It says, "No, you're not allowed." You have collision on this one? It won't it won't even let us stand on that piece there. Probably be the same for the trees, honestly. But yeah. What we got? Oh, that was another thing too that happened during one of the world quests. Like, I don't need the traveler to be the center of attention. honestly. But things keep kind of flipping back and forth between, oh, the Traveler's the main character, and then, oh no, the Traveler's just an observer, and back and forth and back and forth. Then it starts getting into a point of, what are we doing here? Right? Like, they talking about the whole thing of like, oh, chosen by dragons, okay? And so for the while, we think it's the Traveler, okay? Well, then we end up getting basically a vision, and the chosen by dragons is actually our little buddy. So it has nothing to do with the Traveler basically at all. And I was like, okay, I technically don't need the pat on the back, but the Traveler's been going through a lot, and they're not. This is one of those, sorry Mario, the princess is in another castle, but like forever. So it gets weird. It feels weird sometimes. Honestly, it's kind of felt weird from the beginning, considering that, you know, the Traveler's goal has always been to find their sibling and find out about the unknown god. And we keep, like,
Boring.
going to places and helping out these people, and then when it gets down to it, they have like no information about information. They have no information about our sibling, the Abyss, Order, the unknown god, none of that. I mean, it's gotten even to the point where we finished up the Natlan Archon quest. The Traveler didn't even ask Marika if she knew anything about our sibling. Like, I'm like, what happened to that part? So, it's just kind of weird. Like I said, I mean, I love Genshin, and I'll always play it. I mean, I have not missed a day since I got started, in 2019, I think it was, right? No, it was been so long. I get. Oh wait, I go this way. Yeah, 2020. I started on October 15th, 2020, so not right when it first started because I didn't know about it. But about 15 or so days after it launched. And I've played every single day. So Genshin is my jam, but because it's my jam, it is one of those things that I feel like I could say a few things and say, I wish it had turned out X way instead of this other way. But anyway. We'll have to see how it works out. I mean, as far as I can tell now, we're not gonna go to Shesnaya right away. Because we're in... Which patch are we? 4 point... $5.4? I'm gonna keep track of too many gotcha games. I don't remember which patch version we're in. Yeah. 5.4, that's what we're in, 5.4. We're gonna have 5.4. Next patch is apparently gonna be for Natland. And then we'll probably have another patch for Natland. And then after that, we'll be having the summer event, probably. It kind of depends, I guess, on when they... on how many points, point numbers we're going up. because I know like with in the very beginning we went to point 1.6 and then 1.7 was 2.0. We didn't go all the way up the patches, but I think for Fontaine we did get a 0.8. Remember, it's late. I'm tired. So I just know we're gonna have the summer event, and then apparently we're gonna go on the Node Cry. And I was kind of curious about it, so I put a poll on my Twitter and asking like, oh, do you think Node Cry is just going to be a few patches and then we'll go to Shesnaya, or is Node Cry going to be a whole year and then we're going to go to Shesnaya? Oh, I'm not sure. Honestly, has been hard for me to log on daily with Genshin, given it's still for a short time to do. Given is it? Yeah, I guess in a way. I mean, there's nothing wrong with logging in, getting your dailies, maybe using your resin and getting off. I mean, there were days when I was just like, I don't feel like using my resin, and I just went, did the dailies, and got off. I mean, it helps too now. Go pick up. Yeah, guys. I think it helps now that they did the whole, ooh, use resin or convert resin and it will count for your daily commissions and stuff. So I think that helps as long as you have enough daily commissions kind of built up. And that kind of takes off, I think, some of the little bit of the strain. But yeah, it's hard. Because like I'm kind of in the same boat where there's not much right now because I've pretty much explored pretty much all of Natland. There might be a chest or two I haven't found, but I did all the world quests. I think it's kind of like just waiting around for it's just like a waiting around for events and more land area. Hit the hay. Have a good night. Yep, good night, Blaze. Thanks for coming to the stream. I think I'll probably be going to bed pretty soon. It's getting late for me. I've got stuff to do, bro. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there were days when I was just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna log on, do my dailies, pick up my Welkin, and I don't feel like doing my resin today, and I got off. You know, nothing wrong with doing that, especially if you're like really into another game at the time. Like I might actually do that with Honkai Star Rail because I finished the newest story in Honkai Star Rail today. Oh my gosh, I'm bummed. And like, everybody is dying or talking about dying or going off to fight a never-ending battle that'll probably end in them dying. And I'm just like holy cow. Like, I'm bummed now. And the thing is, Honkai Star Rail keeps doing that to me. I'll be having, cause I'm not, I put it, I'm okay with some sad, like, you know, I'm okay with, oh, you know, but I like happy endings. You know, I like it when things aren't, you know, horrible, permanently bad and stuff. Um, no. And so what happens with me when it comes to Honkai Star Rail is that I'll be playing it and it will be fine and no big deal. And then they'll start like hitting me with the extra sad, with the only possible bittersweet ending, and a kind of like, oh, well, at least they're at rest now type of ending. And I'm like, that's not good enough. I need something happier than that. And so I'll start feeling bad, and then I'll put the game down, and then I'll come back like months later because, oh, they're doing this, or they're giving this free outfit, or, you know, whatever, or they're putting out this character, which I've been waiting for a while. But, I mean, yeah, I'm fully into Honkai Star Rail, given I feel more rewarded for my time invested in this game than Genshin does. I mean, I think it kind of depends on your play style, I guess. Like, I'm not a big fan of all of the game modes and stuff. I like doing more exploration and just casual stuff. Like, I'm more of a casual house. I just realized this is the top of a house. You know, I'm more casual, chill player, not like, you know, fighting all the time type of person. But I mean, if you like it, that's it's right up your alley, which is great and everything. I'm just sad of how I'm just bummed about how sad it gets, because like I said, I'm not a person who likes it too sad. I can deal with sad, but it's kind of the same reason I stopped playing Honkai Impact 3rd, because the same thing kept happening over and over again. It would be have the group of characters, there's an enemy, the enemy ends up being extra, the good guys fight the enemy, they find out the enemy is stronger than they expect, so they come up with a plan that ends up leading to a bunch of heroic sacrifices from the characters. But oh no, it doesn't actually work, and now the enemy is still there, but wait, no, it was just delayed, and now the enemy is actually injured, and oh, the enemy is either scared off or defeated, and like, oh, huzzah, but oh wait, all those people who did the heroic sacrifice are still dead. And they did that over and over and over again, and it wore on me so bad. I mean, I cried for Alicia 5 times in a row because they kept bringing her back just to kill her all over again. And she was my favorite character, so I just couldn't take it anymore. That was one of the good things about Genshin for me, is that the story doesn't get as dark as those. Yes, we could have some sad stuff. Yes, occasionally
I once
characters
considered keeping some pets in my office.
characters with unique designs, you know, kick the bucket and stuff like that. But it's not anywhere near Honkai level. So for me, but honestly, I still have my Rail Pass active. So I'll probably log in, maybe just the dailies and get off for a while. I mean, now that I finished that part of the story, I might just be like, okay, I'm just going to not do the main story for a while, because I mean, the way the story is leading to me in Honkai Star Rail kind of feels like Wolf's Rain. I don't know if you've ever seen Wolf's Rain before. The current story gets sadder when you know one fact about which of the characters use Core Flame. Yeah. That's true. That's true. In the anime Wolf's Rain, okay, they have the whole thing about you have this group of characters who are going and looking for paradise and everything, and while they are trying to look for it, there's this horrible cataclysmic event, and basically the world is plunged into like ice cold snow and people die and people are suffering, and the characters are like, we got to get to paradise or we're not going to make it. Well, in the last 4 episodes, they go through this travel to get to paradise, and they slowly die or get killed off, one after the other. And then at the very end, the main boy and the main girl character get to the supposed paradise, but they find out, but they're both like dying, and so they find out that the paradise is actually the fact that the girl can basically rewind time. So she does so, and the world is quote unquote saved, and all the characters are alive again, but they don't remember anything that happened, and they don't even know each other. So it's a kind of a bittersweet kind of, well, at least they're alive type of idea, but you're also now worried that the whole thing's gonna just start all over again, and it's just a big cycle. Character that have a core flame knows how they die the moment. Yeah. That's also sad. I know I saw it with Mighty's, and I was like, okay, yeah. I found it kind of funny though, because when it was like, oh, you're gonna get stabbed in the back. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, he did just tell us that that's the only way to technically kill him, because he's immortal. He told Fion about it, because he's like, if I ever, go against the flame chaser, or the flame chase path, stab me in the back. Well, I mean, it's a whole thing. It's like, spoiler alert, because I finished the story. If you haven't finished the story, it's a spoiler, but it's like, as far as we have it, in the last bit, right, it's Trianne's gone, so Tribby is down to 2, and so she's probably gonna kick the bucket at some point. Mighty went off to fight the Black Tide, and basically is giving the idea that he's not gonna come back, because he's gonna just keep fighting until he just dies. Anaxa, has already died, and because Cersei shoved the core flame into his heart, it managed to like revive him. It managed to revive him as such, but she also mentioned like, oh, you only have a small part of your soul left. If you don't do something about it, you're gonna die again. And so on. And then of course they keep saying this whole, oh, only one is gonna see, the end, and everybody else is gonna kick the bucket. And I'm like, oh great, here we go. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 998 out of 999. Yeah, reason why that's important to Tribby. Yeah, because there used to be 1,000 of her. I remember, and she said, she's like, there used to be a whole bunch more of us, but they just kind of wore out over time, which is what was kind of supposed to happen according to her. But again, I'm just like, I was playing it today, and I think somewhere around where we went into Tribby's room with Trinan. I just started smashing attack into the wall because I was so annoyed. I was just like, I just want to kick something. Why does it have to be so sad? Why do you keep beating me up? Because that's what it feels like to me. And the thing is too, is like, I like the game, so it makes me sad, but also makes me angry. Because I'm like, why do you have to do this to me? Why do you have to ruin it? Why do you have to make it so I don't want to play the game? Again. Because they do this all the time. And I keep saying to myself, I'm going to quit for good this time because it makes me feel so bad. And then I ended up going back because I'm like, that looks really cool. So I'm just, what is that, glutton for punishment? At least this wasn't another Firefly situation. The Firefly thing was kind of intense, although that's another weird thing about it, because when Penacony happened, I also got really upset. Especially after she got stabbed and we were walking around and Acheron and Black Swan kept talking about, oh, this must have been the last thing that she saw, and oh, she doesn't know she's not gonna be able to make it, and because we were following her echo, and I was like walking along going, shut up, shut up, shut up, you're making me feel worse, stop it right now. It was one of those situations where I was like, if I had been the Trailblazer, I would have been just like, you know what? Forget this. I'm going home. Bye, Acheron. Bye, Black Swan. I can't take this anymore. Gone back to the Astral Express and peaced out. I'm like, I've had my limit here. Luckily, though, of course, she ended up being okay. The whole thing of her and Sunday and Robin being stabbed was just a quote what was the guy, what was the dude at the alright, I can't remember. Sleepy? Misha gives it a nickname, and it's like its name is Dormancy. Yeah. It was Dormancy, and the whole thing of the Dormancy bus. Like, he gotta stab you in the back. Then off you go to the real Petacone. Hate how people managed to guess Firefly and Sam being the same person, though I still wish they were separate people. I think a lot of people did. I mean, I was glad that Firefly was alive.
Being too popular can be...
Definitely. But it definitely did feel kind of like a bait and switch when it came to the whole thing of Sam. Because a lot of people were, like, expecting to have a tall, strong man in a mech suit type of vibe, and then ends up being a waifu girl. Which, it's kind of ironic, because I'm like, what is it with Hoyo and having problems with making masked men playable? Think about it. Sam is a girl. Capitano is
Have you ever seen any
dead
stickers on my
slash
back? Didn't you
frozen slash taking a breather. There are no playable men in Honkai Impact 3rd. So Kalpis, who's also a masked man, is also not playable. Who else? There's a couple. It's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, what's up with that? Honestly, too, I know that gacha games are mostly like male, female, not male, female. There's a lot of girls. There's a lot of playable girls. And I really wish that even if it wasn't 50-50, with the whole men or male characters and female characters, I wish it was something like 60-40 or even 70-30 or something like that. Because while I have nothing against girl characters, I mean, I own a lot of them, as you could see. it's still kind of the point of like when you only have female characters or have very few male characters, it gets boring. In my opinion, it gets kind of boring. I mean, I would think the same way if it was just male characters, or if there was like, ooh, 90% male characters and 10% female characters. I'd be like, okay, this is getting a little like too lopsided. I turned my head and my body went, what? You know, it's just the whole thing of like, oh, it's just a little bit, you know, lopsided and stuff like that. But I mean, it is what it is. I know a lot of people are though with Natland, they're getting kind of really concerned because like Kanich are gonna be our only 5-star male character. Honkai Star at least has been semi-consistent about their male and female characters. Really, yeah, that's true. I mean, we're getting 3 males for Honkai Star Rail because we're getting Maide, Finon, and Anaxa. So at least you got that, which is good. But I know like they're talking about how like Kanich is the only 5-star male character in Natland because we got Auroron, who is a 4-star, and then Aoife apparently is going to be a 4-star compared to the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 9. It depends if the chef girl is a Alan character. You know, on one hand, it's kind of like, oh well, at least the people who like the male characters can save up, you know. Because, but then again, like I pull for the female characters too, so. I think the reason why I didn't pull for Kanich was because I was saving up for Shilonen, and I ended up getting Mualani on like early pity, so. Also, Mualani is so cute. You got your face. I'll probably try to roll for Kanich when he gets a rerun. That's kind of the plan. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have to go to bed. I have stuff I need to do. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for watching with me. And we got Wriothesley, I got Wriothesley, so that's good. Even though it basically took pretty much everything again. But hey, that's how it is sometimes with gacha games. But there we go with that. Thank you, Pixel Gaming, for chatting with me and for coming. If you guys want to know what I'm doing, I have a Twitter page and a Blue Sky page that I post to Twitter right now more than the Blue Sky. Sky is there for backup. So I have that. Want to come chit chat with me or see what I'm doing? I might stream the Genshin live stream. I haven't made up my mind yet. It's I've been kind of busy, but I wanted to stream the Wriothesley, right, because it was kind of like a long time in coming because I wanted to make sure he got him on his everything. So so there we go with that, and yeah, so I got my 2 things. So please follow if you like my stuff, and I will see you again, hopefully. All right, thank you guys so much for coming, and I'll see you later. Bye. Have a good night. for coming.